hyperdrive now.
Un campeón se crea a partir de su entorno. Hay que extraer los elementos para el éxito. Para luego fusionarlos con presión y fuego. Solo así se forjará un campeón. Esto es el Copper X Prix.
Hello and welcome to Extreme E, where we're in Antofagasta, Chile for the Copper X Prix, the final weekend of Season 3. My name is Andrew Coley, joining me on commentary is Jess Rogers, and we are delighted to welcome back Jenny Gao.
Thanks, Andrew. Well, it's nice to be back. Season 3 has been our biggest yet, with double the racing and twice the drama. And as we enter the final day of competition, two teams are still in with a chance of being crowned 2023 Extreme E champions.
Since day one, Extreme E has been on a mission to race for the planet, with every championship event showcasing the best electric off-road action in motorsport, while highlighting the big environmental issues and the clever innovations put in place to solve those problems.
Also ingrained in Extreme E's DNA is gender equality, with a stellar lineup of male and female drivers sharing the fight for championship points.
Those drivers will be feeling the pressure this weekend for the season finale. And the question on everyone's lips is, who will take their chance at glory?
We started this year in Saudi Arabia. Sand and rocks were the terrain. It was a brilliant start to the season for Veloce Racing and Acciona Science as they won rounds 1 and 2.
Next up was Scotland. Mud and rocks was the terrain, and the winner of race 1 was X44 Vida Carbon Racing, and Veloce took race 2.
Next up, the location was Sardinia in Italy, where Rosberg X Racing won both race 1 and 2. It was wildfires the theme for the weekend.
We remained in Sardinia for the next double header. Dry earth and ruts, of course, a little bit more rutted with extra racing on it. Acciona Science taking race 1 and X44 Vida Carbon Racing race 2.
This weekend, we are in South America, down in Chile. The terrain is rock and gravel, and well, it's going to be an absolutely stellar end to the season.
And so we reached the championship finale, round 10 of 2023, the Copper X Prix from Antofagasta in Chile. Harsh gravel terrain. We know from yesterday's racing that the track has cut up in places. Conditions will change during the course of the day. Had some huge crashes in round 9, hoping that everybody gets through round 10 unscathed and we get to go right down to the final. Going to be a brilliant day's racing to tie up season 3. If you've missed any of the action so far, where have you been? Have a look at this.
The championship fight is on, with 5 teams still in contention going into the Copper X Prix. The season kicked off in Neom, and the brand new course on the shores of the Red Sea was quick to catch out Andretti.
Roll in the background, that's the Andretti machine's gone over again!
RXR dominated the final, but a last-minute penalty for speeding in the slow zone saw them drop to 3rd, as Veloce took top honours in Saudi Arabia. Round 2 and Andretti's woes continued.
No, not again! A 3rd roll for Andretti!
As Acciona Science claimed a first ever race win, tying them at the top with Veloce on 46 points. Rounds 3 and 4 took the teams to Scotland, with an abandoned coal mine and future hydroelectric power plant the backdrop for one of the most dramatic events so far.
Contact to the roll! Absolutely huge crash! Oh, and RXR off the side of the road! Johan Kristoffersson!
Things were looking up for Andretti when they crossed the line in first. But a penalty for a switch zone infringement saw them drop to second, allowing X44 to take the win and move up to third. It was a drama-filled qualifying at round 4.
Oh, Kilmore into the barrier on the inside line. Scheider goes in really hard, and that's Anderson!
Veloce maintained their composure once again to take a second win of the season and reclaim the top spot. Round 5 saw the series return to Sardinia, with the stunning Italian island hosting one of the most remarkable comebacks in Extreme E history.
The RXR's going fully off-road, straight through the bushes on the outside of the track.
After an early crash, RXR climbed back up the field, crossing the line in second, but a penalty for GMC Hummer EV Chip Ganassi Racing meant they were promoted to the race win. The following day, RXR continued their domination in Italy.
Kristoffersson comes from the back of the pack to the lead.
To close to within 4 points of championship leaders Acciona Sainz. As teams returned to Sardinia for round 7, the top 3 title contenders all made it through to the final, but with RXR suffering tech issues and Veloce blinded after their windscreen wipers failed,
Taylor can't see, someone needs to tell her to stop.
Acciona Sainz sailed away to win the Island X Prix and extend their lead at the top. At round 8, it was Acciona Sainz's turn for tech problems as they failed to make it through to the final along with Veloce Racing. This allowed RXR to secure second place behind X44. All that meant our top 3 were separated by just 21 points, with 5 teams still in the hunt for the title when we arrived in Chile. And with the championship on the line, there was plenty of drama still to come.
On a roll! The number 99's gone over the... Oh, massive hit! And a roll!
Come the final, and it was our championship protagonists laying it all on the line. Acciona Sainz took an early narrow lead, but lost out to RXR in the switch zone. Despite the unrelenting pressure, Rosberg X Racing held on to take the win and the lead in the championship. But who will take the Season 3 crown?
Yeah, so a lot to play for today. Just 6 points separate Rosberg X Racing from Acciona Sainz. They have it all to do today, and there's a lot at stake.
Absolutely. Now, going into this round, the bottom 5 teams, I mean, they haven't really got anything to lose. They can't win the championship, so they're going to be looking ahead to next year, looking for their contracts and thinking about what can they do. They're going to want to show off a bit.
Oh, that could play all sorts of fun and games into it, surely.
Absolutely. Fun and games is what we're here for, but also clean runs is what we're here for, and some great racing. And we are absolutely sure that is what we are going to get.
Let's take a look then at the canvas on which we are painting today's event. That long run down to the first corner, we got rights and lefts into the undulations where we've seen plenty of contact and rolls yesterday. What are we going to see today? Ridgeline, the drop down, that's where RJ Anderson rolled, isn't it, coming off that, and then into the Continental Traction Challenge, Jenny.
We've seen a lot of wind as well. Yesterday, dust was kicking up, so rocks and dust are the main things that they're going to have to really try and overcome out there.
Changing track conditions as well. You know, will it be wet or dry as the track dries out during the course of the day? Those extra points are crucial. 2 points for the Traction Challenge, 1 point for each of your race wins during qualifying, when we've only got 6 points between those top 2 title fighters. Crucial. If you want to find out more, you can use the QR code on your screen there, and that'll take you straight to the website.
Finding out more, let's do that right now about Rosberg X Racing. They were our winners yesterday. Did they celebrate? Hopefully not too hard.
Finishing first today, of course, it's great for the championship. It's the 3rd win of the year. It was a nice battle with Matthias, and then we had a nice battle with Laia.
Yeah, started off a bit tricky in Q1, but then had a good Q2 and was amazing fights with Johan and Matthias, and going into the switch, and the party trick he did there was exciting.
He did a small mistake, so I could close the gap going into switch zone. And then I knew he was having to go to switch bay 5, which is the furthest away. So I decided to go on the right-hand side to try brake late and yeah, have a freeway going into my switch bay together side by side with Matthias and yeah, put Michaela in the best possible position.
Laia was super quick, so just tried to keep her behind me, and it's good to bring home the win for the team. New day tomorrow, important points for the championship, but still very open.
I think it's also strong from Rosberg X Racing to be in the championship fights for the 3 seasons that the Extreme E has been. So yeah, that's always great to be up there. And now we face the same kind of last day of the championship tomorrow, which is always great to have that experience together before. Hopefully we'll have a little bit better result this time than we had last year. The work in between the driver pair in Extreme E is super important, and me and Michaela lives only 60k apart from our hometown, so it's always nice to be able to sit at the same table and do all the preparations and also the debriefs after the races.
We've been driving together for 2 seasons. We've been in this particular situation one time before, and he's a very chill person and always keeps calm. And whenever he sees that I'm starting to maybe wind up a bit, he's like, calm down, everything's good.
There is some really fast teams and fast drivers out there, so we just have to try and improve every small detail that we can, and of course tomorrow is going to be exciting.
I think you always want to win, no matter if we had the end of the season like we had last year, so of course it would mean a lot to win.
The final day of qualifying in 2023. Q1 Heat 1 RXR. Johan Kristoffersen in the middle of the grid. Got a terrible start. He backed off into turn 1, hoping carnage would unfold in front of him, but it didn't. Sensible by all 5 cars. That meant he had to get his passing hat on. You got Andreas backward up the inside, side by side with Brace McConnell over the start-finish line, the tiniest of nudges. He took that place too. Continued the attack through the race. Coming down into the switch zone, he got 1 more position. Came home in P2. A fantastic performance. Handing the car over to Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski. Head of Hozos 1 for McLaren, P2 for RXR. On to Heat 2 and the pressure on for Acciona Sainz. They knew that RXR with a P2 had got a good result. Ekstrom got a brilliant start, an easy hole shot, and checked out into the distance, while behind him the battle raged. Timo Scheider versus Kevin Hansen passed each other twice by this point. Hansen up the inside with a pretty bullish mood. Timo Scheider not having any of it. Look at this, over the crest into the left-hander. That's where R.J. Anderson rolled yesterday. Scheider so close to doing the same, but it was a big old try to pass up the inside that didn't quite come off. Laia Sanz taking over from Matthias Ekstrom to bring home the Acciona Sainz machine in P1. That is an extra championship point for them in the all-important title fight. The gap is down to 5.
Well, there's the results. RXR and Sainz will be happy with that. But meanwhile, Nico Rosberg, he's been a busy man. He's been in Oxford because he has started a new philanthropic endeavour. So we're going to take a look at that, because it's not just he who's been busy, but we're going to see some awesome racing afterwards.
No stranger to the knowledge that sport can be used to promote a greener planet is Formula One world champion and RXR team owner Nico Rosberg. In February of 2023, Nico announced his non-profit organisation, Rosberg Philanthropies.
I've always been supporting a lot of charitable initiatives, and this year was the first time that it all came together under Rosberg Philanthropies. And what we're about is really supporting climate tech, but also young children in need. The partnership with Oxford University has been incredible, sponsoring PhD students and getting them to engage with our various partners, like with Extreme E. It's been so valuable and insightful. Our student Varun partnered with Neste. He made a whole analysis of what needs to be done, starting with the Extreme E ship, but what can then also be taken into the entire marine industry, because of course they need to scale globally to have a chance of having a real impact.
Over the summer, I did a project in partnership with the Oxford SDG Impact Lab, Rosberg Philanthropies, Extreme E and Neste. I got to visit the St. Helena ship. This ship is still powered by fuel oil. So this project looks at how we can use alternative fuels to reduce the emissions of the ship, and also looking at what infrastructure is currently available to implement these new fuels.
Some time ago, I had the pleasure of visiting the Oxford University campus. The PhD students that we'd been supporting were also attending. I had a talk in front of all the younger students there to try and inspire them a little bit, to also get supported and get placements in corporate, get their hands dirty, you know, with all the things that they've learned about. The partnership between Rosberg Philanthropies and Oxford University is really unique. These PhD students from Oxford are just incredibly knowledgeable and intelligent. They can quickly find solutions, and it's just been incredible, the progress.
Nico and Extreme E can champion sustainability through their platform in sport to showcase how you can reduce your emissions and become sustainable.
We all know that we're nearing a tipping point, and more than ever, I think we so need these ultra-disruptive solutions now to help us with this fight against climate change. Sports almost has a duty to do this, and that's what I love so much about Extreme E, because it's really trying to do that. It's at its core, to use the platform to promote electrification, now soon hydrogen mobility also. And I hope that other sports championships can also get inspired by Extreme E, so I think we're really generating a lot of impact there.
Final qualifying session of 2023. It is a crucial one. We've got our two championship contenders in great positions heading into this session, but they need another good run each to take this right to the final of the year. Let's head down to the Vodafone Command Centre. We can catch up with our newest driver. Hey, here he is. Adrian Tombe, how's it going?
Everything good so far, thank you.
So you haven't really done any loose surface driving, and suddenly you've come here and you're only driving on the loose. You've been avoiding the gravel for your entire career, and it seems to me to be going really well. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, actually it's been okay so far. To be honest, it's very few laps to be learning everything step by step, especially because it's not so easy not to do a mistake. So I'm trying to not do a mistake, especially when seeing the drama yesterday, and obviously going through all this without doing mistakes and catching up with having less running yesterday is not making my life so easy, but I'm doing my best.
Adrian, we're wishing you the very best. We're about to go racing, so we'll let you get your head into race mode. But welcome to the series. Great to have you along, and fantastic performances. Wish you luck for the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Great stuff. So yeah, our newest driver, brilliant. Another circuit racer converted to the dark side. We like bringing them over here. Say the gravel's what you're aiming for. That's where you want to be. Gravel and jumps, so much more fun than smooth roundy. Here we go.
Attention all teams, this is race control. Stand by for the start of the Antofagasta Minerals Copper X Prix. Qualifying round 2, heat 1, is about to commence. Energize your systems and prepare to race.
Right then, this is what we are looking like for the grid. Now, in terms of lane 1, we've got GMC Hummer EV Chip Ganassi Racing. In lane 2, it is JBXE. In the middle, we have got McLaren. Can they continue an amazing start? Then we've got Apt Cupra in lane 4. And finishing off our qualifying is Veloce in round 5.
All the ladies in the seats getting ready to go. You can see them pumping their fists. They're ready. Andrew, are you ready?
About as ready as we're ever going to be, aren't we? This is the last qualifying session of the year in the middle of the grid. That brilliant performance by Hedda Hozos last time, holding on to help put her and Tanner Faust right at the top of the qualifying list. They're equal on qualifying points with Ekstrom, and Sands will be out in the next one. Waiting on the start. And away, so immediately hyperdrives as you would expect. Has anyone gone too early? Looks like a good start by Hozos in the middle of the grid. That's a repeat of Ekstrom's great start from the last time round, but 3 cars wide. Molly Taylor though got the whole shot, just edges in front, and it's slippery. Look, they put a lot of water down in turn 1. Amanda Sorensen coming around the outside of 2 cars there, passing, it was Clara Anderson around the outside as well, so getting herself on a P2. Now a lot of mud roost out there as well. Look at the screens, poor visibility for Clara Anderson down in P4. P3 is Hedda Hozos P2, Amanda Sorensen leading is Molly Taylor, and out the back, unfortunately, Tamara Molinaro in the JBXE machine.
I think Sorensen has got a real problem with vision. She did a great job cutting in, but look at her. The windscreen seems to not be working properly, the cleaners, so hopefully she's getting on top of that, otherwise Hozos is going to be through on her.
They put a bigger bottle on these cars before the last pair of rounds in Sardinia, so in between the two Sardinia events they put more water into the cars. That means you can run the wipers for longer during the race duration. They'll come in, of course, to the switch zone and chuck a bucket of water over it as well. And in fact, some of the teams now are starting to run tear-offs. So like you see with single-seater drivers or you know, any motorcycle racing, you actually rip a plastic screen off the front of the car and clean it up when they come into the switch. So checking out front, Taylor looks gapped everyone by 3.3 seconds. Looks to me like Hozos has got a good pace, but she's behind Sorensen at the minute.
Such a shame that Taylor and Hansen aren't in the championship fight anymore. That went yesterday with poor reliability and crashes, but they are looking in extreme form this weekend after coming back from illness yesterday for Kevin. They are, as you say, checking out at the front, but look at the battle for third place and look at the water splash. They go through the first lap. That's the finish line. That's what they'll try and do in 3 laps time and be leading.
Interesting to see the difference in lines there. Watch Sorensen, she puts a lot of rotation on the car on the way in, maybe not this corner, the previous one. She put a lot of rotation on the car in the middle of the corner on the way in. Whereas you can see behind her, Hedda Hozos kept the car quite straight and ran it out wide. Now that works in different points on the track. Right now it does seem to be working for Hozos. I say she's staying within a few tenths of a second, bit sideways on the exit. Now she gets her screen covered in roost, but she's still right there. So Sorensen with a slightly clearer view, dare I say it. I don't think I do, to be honest. And into the right-hander, Hozos still right there behind. So the gap's actually come down now to 2.6 at the front. So Sorensen is getting a little bit of a wiggle on. Either that or Taylor has decided to play it safe at the front with a decent gap.
As you say, they're different driving styles, but both of them working very well together. And it's what works for the car. Remember, they're sharing this car with their teammates, so it has to work for both of them. The inserts are there for them to get their feet prepared for it, but they all have to find a combined driving style with them and their teammate, and that's really hard to do.
It is, it's a compromise. Yeah, it's not like when you get your F1 car and go, right, this is my car, that's your car, I want mine set up differently to you. You're sharing it, as you say.
I think some people would say that some drivers have had to compromise their styles.
Yes, because a car can be developed, huge jump in the background, can be developed around one drive, but yeah, not in Extreme, you've got to share it. So, interestingly, the next car, the Extreme H car, has a movable pedal box. So that's where the pedals are mounted on the floor. Instead of having a seat insert which moves you forward, there will be a pedal box which means the pedals can be moved up and a mechanism to move them quickly to preset positions. So when you've got two drivers jumping in the car, it should make it a lot easier for them.
That's cool.
Yeah, very cool, isn't it?
Amanda Sorensen has just had a really good sector. She's really gone for it and has closed the gap up, especially as they come into the switch zone. But has she overcooked it? She must get that stopped in time. It's hard to tell from that angle. We'll try and find another angle, but she came in hot.
She did. Her and Leah Block have been the last of the late breakers, although actually Kristoffersen in the last one as well. Of course, Kristoffersen managed to overtake Sorensen's teammate R.10 Anderson on the brakes, didn't he, as they came in last time round. So into the switch zone, obviously you go in your bays according to which one's been allocated to. You don't just get to pick, your team are waiting, and then it's 45 seconds minimum in neutral for the driver change, with only 3 people in there at any one moment, the 2 drivers and 1 member of crew.
I have to say, the Veloce doesn't look like it's gone anywhere near a puddle, and everyone else, Jess, has really bad visibility.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen this before in other rounds. If you're ahead of the pack, you remain with a really clean car. And yeah, very nice transition between Taylor and Hansen there. Kevin, of course, recovering from being unwell yesterday, so he's going to be fired up to get another good qualifying here today.
So just quickly, the Apt Cooper machine there, you saw Clara Anderson reach onto the screen and try and repair the wipers. So we've seen the wipers get stuck, Jess. When you and me did Sardinia, they can over-wipe and go over the side of the car.
And speaking of wipers, they've just thrown another bucket of water on top of that Apt Cooper there as well. Are we going to find out if there was any switch zone infringements? Ooh, it's quite tight coming out there, isn't it? With Carl Cox,
Just looking to see that, because you could see that the Hummer had been released, couldn't you? And then the Veloce at the front of the pack, I wasn't sure if it was going to go at the same time. Sorensen's used her hyperdrive. She did this last time out. So Amanda Sorensen, sorry, it's Anderson now, isn't it? R.J. Anderson in the car now, uses the hyperdrive immediately to try and get onto the back of them.
And so the male drivers have now taken over. So out there, you've got R.J. Anderson, Andreas Backrode, Tanner Faust, Adrian Tombe and Kevin Hansen. Those are the drivers, and Hansen is leading the way at the moment in the Veloce.
The visibility on the Veloce machine, as Jess said when it came in, absolutely crystal clear. You both were talking about, and that look, so for me, Hummer have definitely got a problem with the wipers. They're either not working or working very little. Look at the difference here. You can see right into the car in the background, not so much. That's
Who
not
needs
terrible.
to see anyway?
Well, look at Katie Munnings yesterday. That's
True.
Yeah, a good example. Poor Katie.
Yeah, she stacked it because she couldn't see and just drove into another car. Hopefully that's not going to happen at the moment, but that gap is coming down. RJ Anderson is out there and he is gunning for it.
There's that rut again. We were looking back. Look at the amount of rocks. I don't think you see this from the trackside cameras. You just don't realise the amount of rocks that get flung out of the back of these cars. So it makes a huge difference. Continental have done a fantastic job of providing a tyre that can race on so many different surfaces. Obviously, there's a limit to everything, and the drivers must manage keeping those tyres on the rims. That's the most important thing. They've done brilliantly so far this weekend. I don't think we've had, we only had the issue with Christopherson, and that was due to contact. But the track is definitely rutting up a bit in places.
Really impressed by RJ Anderson. I haven't seen him drive so much.
Of course,
but
yeah.
He's out there and, as I say, going for it. And we just rode on board with him. The visibility is so tricky for him. They're coming through this final section. They'll go round again. But where can RJ Anderson attack? Can he even do it?
I think 1.65 seconds back when Kevin Hansen still got his Inoa hyperdrive. Kevin, I think, will use that either into or out of the Continental traction change. Look at the speed RJ's taking into corners. He really, you can see him hanging on to the car on the run down to that big jump over the start-finish line. He really was. So
he wants it, doesn't he? He really wants to go out there. Obviously, they're running the Carl Duke tribute this weekend.
Yeah, they are.
And using every ounce of Kyle that they can find.
Yes.
He was something special. And I tell you what, RJ Anderson is doing him proud at the moment, and Amanda Sorensen.
yeah,
and the
absolutely.
Whole team. Well done on them.
They'd love to pay tribute to them, wouldn't they, with a great result to Kyle, and we'd love to see that too.
Whoa, look at that.
My favourite Kyle LeDuc story, it feels appropriate right now, when he first came into the series and he went out in that first session and tried a trick line, took the side off the car, and I was like, I love this guy straight away. I was like, he's gone out on the first session, tried to find a sneaky line that's going to go quick. Oh, and Anderson gets sideways in the background. Has he held on to that or not? RJ Anderson was really sideways. The gap was 3.0, he's still there, and in fact it's come down, so the send worked. But yeah, I loved when Kyle appeared on the scene. I was like, this is a guy after my hero, Colin McRae, you know, a proper sender, and yeah, we miss him. Love to the family very much.
No nonsense driver, and yeah, he always will be with us wherever we go. And look at this. This is the kind of driving he would love.
Kevin Hansen coming around through the last couple of corners, gritting his teeth as he often does on the onboard, bottom right of your screen. It's a great result for Veloce. Hansen and Taylor are going to take this one. After the previous session, they were sitting in P4, and I'm pretty sure that's going to book their slot in the grand final. P2 goes to GMC Hummer EV Chip Ganassi Racing. They were in P5 last time, so that's a better result. That's P5 over all of the 10 cars. P3 goes to Neil McLaren. They, of course, won the previous session. So, wow, it's going to be tricky, isn't it, as to who makes it. But I think those top three are within a good chance of getting through to that grand final. Definitely Veloce. So Molinaro coming around now in the JB XE machine. Over the jump to take the finish. And that is all of our cars home. 37 seconds back. Tricky to know, isn't it, what's going on there?
I was going to say, slightly odd weekend for JBXE. I know both of the drivers have more in them than that's showing.
Yeah, which is what makes me think there's some issue, Jenny.
But as you say, a really good win for Veloce. And if it wasn't for yesterday and the bad luck that they had, then they would be up there for the championship fight.
And the results then from qualifying to Heat 1, now down in 5th, was JBXE. In at 4th, they'll be a bit disappointed. That was Apt Cupra. In 3rd, another decent-ish run. Are they going to make it through? It's McLaren. And in 2nd, amazing job by Sorensen and Anderson for GMC Chip Ganassi in 2nd. And then another first place. What a first place for Veloce, for Taylor and Hansen.
What a backdrop for a race. Here you go. So those are the qualifying points at the top right-hand side of your screen there. You score those in each of your races. It's the accumulation of your Q1 and your Q2 is what gives us our positions overall. So a perfect score would be 20 if you'd won both of your races. And we call it top qualifier if you're at the top of that list. Laura Winter is down in the paddock, and she's with Timmy Hansen, who, unfortunately, of course, they're not taking part today because the Andretti machine had a big old crash yesterday.
Thanks very much. Yes, Timmy Hansen alongside me, Andretti not taking part today. So we're not going to let you get away with a day of doing nothing. You're going to be on the TV team. We just had to do a sprint down here, getting you used to reporting life. But Timmy, look, it's a championship deciding day. I know you'd love to have been in the fight, in any sort of fight for today. But for Acciona Science and Rosberg X Racing, our leaders here, how big a moment is this? What does this feel like as a driver coming into a day in which you could win a title?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's the whole year kind of gets decided now. I've been in championship battles, winner takes it all in the last round, myself against Johan. He's an incredibly strong driver, but it's always a bit easier coming in when you're behind, because you just have to send it. There's just one way. You just have to do the perfect job, and to be fair, that's what you're trying to do every time. So there's nothing different for Acciona right now. They're just going to try to win the race, and that's it. So for Rosberg being in a bit more of a controlling position, it is a bit harder, because like you're feeling like you're defending something, and you're not really feeling like you just have to win. You're just kind of wanting to control, and Michaela just there preparing, don't want to get in their head. But it is harder to not do your absolute best than just controlling. So yeah, they have a hard job here in RXR.
It's going to be exciting. Thanks so much for your insight, Timmy. Appreciate it.
Well, this is Fraser McConnell, and what a season he's having with X44 Vida Carbon Racing. The story of when he got the call from Lewis Hamilton really is something special, and he looks stone cold here, but oh my goodness, is he such a good vibe in the paddock. Great man to have around. And well, speaking of stone cold, here is Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski. RXR, they have been on form all season, and they haven't got much further to go. Are they going to lift the trophy for a second time? And now Laura has been in the paddock with them. So let's head down and see what they have to say.
Our second round of qualifying is coming up, and a good chance to speak to our leaders as things stand on this championship deciding day. Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski of Rosberg X Racing alongside me. Michaela, what are the emotions for you on a day like today? A good start, a clean start, importantly, and now on to the next race.
I mean, like you say, clean start, P2 in Heat 1, but you know, it's very open still in the championship. So for us, it's just a focus to do the best we can, head out there and have a good Q2.
Provisionally, you have the Continental Traction Challenge. They, of course, have 1 point for a win, nip and tuck in terms of these minor points. The maths, though, do state if Acciona Science do not make the final and you guys do, you are champions-elect. I'm sure you've done all of those maths. How does that alter or change your approach if it does?
I mean, they had a win in Q1, so, and also on the other side, you know, we cannot control what they do and all the other teams, what they're doing. We can just focus on ourselves, so that's what we're doing. And yeah, heading into Q2 with that mindset.
That is a very measured driver approach. I'm trying to hype it up and you're just trying to calm me down. I love it. Michaela, thank you. Best of luck to you and to Johan. We'll head now to X44 just next door. Of course, champions in season 2. Fraser McConnell alongside me. Fraz out the championship fight yesterday, of course. Sorry to see that, but you were on the podium. You're going to have to do a little bit of work there in qualifying too to make a final yet again. What happened for you guys this morning?
Yeah, no, unfortunately, not the start to the final round that we wanted. I think we got the setup a little wrong. Me and Christina gave everything we could to try fight with everyone up front, but we were going flat out and just couldn't seem to match our pace. So we're going to go back to the drawing board, put on some magic setup and go for a win in Q2.
And look, third place in the championship is mathematically up for grabs. I know it will take a few things going your way, but how much would that mean to the team?
It'd be incredible, you know, my rookie year, Carlin coming on as their basically rookie off-road season with technical support. You know, the team really shifted a lot to giving much more people the opportunity to get involved with Extreme E. And, you know, there's a lot to be proud of. We have 2 wins, 1 podium, 3 podiums and 2 of those being a win. And we're going to try to finish it off strong today and put one up there for Bossman Lewis.
Great stuff. Thank you very much indeed, Fraz. Cheers. Good luck.
Well, it is time for qualifying to Heat 2. And these are the big players. These are the people that are battling it out for the championship. RXR versus Science. And we will go down to Laura, who is in the paddock, warming us up.
Well, it's a big day. It is championship deciding day, and Carlos Sainz joins me now. In front of Acciona Sainz, your team, you are in the fight for this title. Tell me, what are the emotions on a day like today?
Well, we know obviously that today is the crucial day where everything is going to be decided. We started well. Yesterday was a difficult day, not all going smooth. But I'm confident. You know, we are trying the maximum. The drivers are doing really good job. The team is performing well. So, you know, it's up to small detail now. Whatever happens in the second heat, and then hopefully we will go to the final and see what's happened.
You're a champion. You know how to win. How do they close out a day like today? And also, how difficult is it for you to stand and watch and not be involved in the action so much?
It's different position. Obviously, it's I don't know. It's difficult to feel the the Sunday, the race day from the beginning. But at the end of the day, you know, we are extremely motivated to really make a good job. I'm very proud of what Matthias and what Laia. To see Laia from minute number 1 to today is huge. What she has been doing now is really one of the fastest, if she's not the fastest, and really making a really good job. So Matthias is always a guarantee. So, you know, looking from the outside, I can only try to help them, give them confidence, thinking small details that maybe I have the time to concentrate and try to give everything to the team.
Thank you so much. You've been a huge part of Laia's progress as well. You should be proud too. Thanks, Carlos. Best of luck.
Fascinating insight from Carlos Sainz there about just being there to take up some of the stress when other people are distracted by what's going on, and great words about Laia Sanz as well. We're going to head down to their rivals now in the command centre. Johan Kristoffersson heading into the final qualifying session of the year. Obviously, you guys are in a great position, as are your title rivals, Acciona Sainz. You kept so calm last time out. What's the briefing for this run for you and Michaela?
Do the same. That would be nice. Hopefully a bit better start this time. Get out in a little bit better position than 5th. I mean, it's only 4 cars in this heat, so that should be possible. And yeah, let's see. Looked like Molly had a very good start from the start slot we are from now. But as well, Acciona seems to have really good starts since season 1, actually. So yeah, I reckon they are in a good spot as well to take the win, exit of T1. But then there is a few corners left.
Are you just going to go for it? Are there any tactics you're going to employ? Of course.
Yeah, don't bin it. Our super sector looks pretty good as well. So, but yeah, let's see. I'll try to do my best. I mean, we can talk for a couple of hours, talking, you know, strategies back and forth. But you know, it's never going to play out like that anyway. So let's see.
Well, good luck. Thank you so much for talking to us. Don't bin it. Wise words from a multiple champion.
I won't.
Absolutely brilliant. I won't. So there we go. 6-time World Rallycross champion, 1-time champion this. Will he retain that title today? We're going to find out soon.
Attention all teams, this is race control. Stand by for the start of the Antofagasta Minerals Copper X Prix. Qualifying round 2, heat 2, is about to commence. Energize your systems and prepare to race.
Maybe the most important qualifying session of the year. This one is going to decide who goes through to the grand final. If RXR make it and Acciona Sainz don't, it's game over. That's the only point at which this championship can be won in this session. Where they finish is going to be crucial. Is it going to come down to a tie-break situation, the Continental Traction Challenge? All to play for over 4 laps. 2 for the male drivers, 2 for the female drivers. The females are up first. The pressure is on, and you can sense that in the command centre.
The females are up first indeed, and it's Leah Block for Carl Cox Motorsport in lane 1. Then we've got a blank for lane 2 because Andretti aren't with us, and in lane 2, in the middle, we've got Acciona Sainz. Then we've got Christina Gutierrez for X44 and Michaela Arlin Kotlinski in lane 5.
This, along with the start later on today, if they all make it through to the final, could be the most critical start of Arlen Kotlinski and Laia Sanz's careers. This would certainly be the biggest title ever for both those two drivers. On the outside, Leah Block will be keen to make her mark as well. In our hyperdrives all round, Laia Sanz has got an absolutely brilliant start. Looks like a whole shot to me. Arlen Kotlinski's going to be out the back door here. Needs to get on the brakes early. Oh, Gutierrez goes late. Super late. Has to hook a wheel over the inside almost to avoid Laia Sanz. Laia Sanz gets sideways. Block up the inside of the RXR machine in the background. Tiny bit of contact between those two. So Laia Sanz out front at the moment for Acciona. Sainz P2. Gutierrez, last year's champion for X44. And in P3, Arlen Kotlinski's. Arlen Kotlinski's under pressure from Leah Block. Block's got nothing to lose here. She looks up the inside again. Arlen Kotlinski would like a gap here for a little bit of comfort.
Kristoffersson likes to be in control, and this must be terrifying for him. He wants to give everything he can to Arlen Kotlinski to say, go well out there, and seeing them all together at the start would have been a little hairy, I think, but it's calming down now.
Yes.
Sainz is out front, and that's what we need championship-wise for them to do. So they're in good hands. Gutierrez is just behind them, and just behind her, Arlen Kotlinski on board with them right now, trying to take the overtake.
Yeah, Arlen Kotlinski right up behind the X44 machine now. See the onboard, look at the concentration. You can't see her eyes, you don't need to. Her lips are so tightly held. She's just full focus on the car in front, hoping to get a little gap on the car behind. She's got about 1.3 over Leah Block now. Block for Carl Cox Motorsport, doing a brilliant job this weekend. But at Laia Sanz out the front, Carlos Sainz said it, to see her progress from minute number 1 to now. And that was the point of this series. And the racing yesterday was just absolutely brilliant. It was a mark of the progress that's been made. Sanz jumps over the start finish on lap 1. P2 for X44. RXR are still there. This result would see both those cars through to the final.
Gutierrez is taking a different line. He's trying to close up. The difference is now under 1 second between Sainz and Gutierrez in the X44, and just further back it's the RXR, and then Carl Cox at the back. All 4 of them are still in this.
Wipers on from Arlen Kotlinski as she goes into the mud. Sensible decision. There's Johan. Oh, you just know he wants to be full chill, but this isn't a point at which he can be in control. And as you said earlier, Jenny, any driver, male or female, you always want to be the one behind the wheel. Now Arlen Kotlinski lines up Gutierrez in front. Gutierrez took a different line into there. I think Arlen Kotlinski will be closer. She is. Through the left-hander now. The dust kicks up and heading up towards the start of the Continental Traction Challenge section. None of them have got the Innova Hyperdrive left. At the minute, Laia Sanz is quickest in sector 3, but that doesn't mean she's gone faster than everybody else. It's an accumulation of both those drivers' times.
Arlen Kotlinski right up the back now of the X44 car. X44 goes a little slippy and wide there. Is there a room for Arlen Kotlinski to go inside and take the inner line?
I think there's a problem for X44 here.
The wipers are not working properly.
Yeah, not the greatest view, is it? But behind, look at Leah Block's closed up. So whatever's going on with the X44 machine, it has allowed the cars behind to catch up. There was a gap there of a couple of seconds between them. They're all over the back now. You ride on board with Cristina Gutierrez, last year's champion. Sideways for Arlen Kotlinski in the background. She holds on to it over the jump. Sideways into the left-hander for the X44. Watch for Leah Block on the brakes down into the switch zone. This is where she made that incredible pass yesterday. They're splitting off to the right-hand side any minute now, and then they should be on the brakes hard. Look how quick they come in there. It's no wonder we've seen people making mistakes. Here comes Block. How late on the brakes?
So late.
Oh, sensible.
In fact, they've come in joint at the same time. Sainz and X44. Look at them. They're so close, and they're touching at the back with RXR and Block. So what has gone on in the switch zone? This could be so important when it comes to the let-out.
Yeah, it could in the release, couldn't it? I mean, RXR won't like that, but it's fair enough. Leah's got as close as she can get on the way in. Turning into the left, I don't think, yeah, X44, it's X44 and Acciona Sainz. 2.9 seconds was the gap between the cars coming in, between all 4. We're about to see them release now. Scheider's going to want to get that Carl Cox Motorsport machine back up. Where did they come in the first? They were P6. So for Carl Cox to make it through to the final, Scheider has to take some risks. So he's not going to affect the championship if he can help it. But his job, remember, is not to do anything about that. His job is to get that car into the final.
They've
Here we go.
not got the block in as well. This is the replay of Carl Cox coming in. And where are they going? They're right up the back, and they've got a whole face full of dirt there for her problems.
Yeah.
And that, I think that affected her visibility, but then she comes back into the switch zone and managed to as you say, late break everyone, so they're going. That looks like a damaged car at the back.
Yeah, that's big contact between them and the RXR. Where's the RXR going to get released? Could be 3 cars wide here. Should come out just in front of the block. Block's car, of course, which Scheider is now in. So pretty much as they came in, it was 2.9. Let's see the gaps. Look at that. That's the side view as they head off the line at the front between the X44 machine across
That's a
the
great
side.
restart.
It is. Who's gone with hyperdrive?
So it's McConnell has not used he has used hyperdrive. That's when he's used it. So Ekstrom behind McConnell, and one of them has used their hyperdrive. Ekstrom has banked it for later.
Yeah, McConnell's used it to get into the lead. They were side by side coming out. That's actually a time when I go, you know what, yes, but remember, Matthias is probably thinking if this ends up a tie-break situation, at the minute it won't. They'll go through as top qualifiers at the minute. But if it ended up in a tie-break situation, you need that traction challenge. At the minute, RXR are in the tie-break situation, so they need to be ahead of X44. All still to play for here.
Absolutely. And look at the top 3 of them, all of them, really going for this. That's on board with the Ekstrom, and he's trying to chomp down McConnell on the lead. I think at the moment, Scheider's going backwards a little bit. I think damage to that car. They've gone for the low downforce setting with Kristoffersen once again.
Yeah, I think that was taken off at the back. Kristoffersen grits his teeth just a little bit. The gap came down there by a couple of tenths, and now it goes back up. So it came down by a tenth, it's gone up by 2 tenths. Kristoffersen chasing down Ekstrom, fierce rivals for so long. McConnell's joined that party of being rivals with these drivers at some of the highest level off-road competition in the world, of course, including Extreme E. On board with Ekstrom. Are they going to be top qualifiers here? If they are, that's an incredible performance by them.
1 lap down, 1 to go, and you can see the Continental Traction Challenge. Rosberg X Racing still leading the way. 2 points for that. That could tie up the championship. We don't know how it's going to work out, but at the moment it's X44 leading the way. They take the first jump of the first finish line. They'll go round once more.
RXR look at the top of those standings, so they've got a 0.42 of a second as well, Jenny. So I think, looking at the gap, I think it's big enough. No one's going to get there, are they? You know what I mean? If it was 300s,
conditions are getting better now.
Yeah, 0.42 is massive, isn't it? It's such a big gap, but they're not going to know that. This is the thing, no one's calling them and going, oh, by the way, he's still at the top by 0.42 of a second. So
they just have to race maximum attack. They can't think about anything else. And at the moment, it's X44 leading the way from Ekstrom in the Science and Sounds.
That works. Science and Sounds. Yeah, Science. They're the people in the team. It's all good.
What I mean.
I know exactly what everybody knows what you mean. It's all good. Look at that. That's the target. I love this. You can almost imagine this, can't you, in Kristoffersen's head? That's his crosshair for the target in front of him that he's desperate to get to. And I've got to be honest, I don't think he's going to. It's 1.9 between them. Luckily for him, Scheider is far enough back that he's not causing problems, because if Scheider passed them, then RXR wouldn't make it through to the final based on our points predictor that we've had on screen. There's your track map showing how close it is. Wow.
The X44 car's moving around so much. It's got a really loose rear end, and I think McConnell's just struggling to keep it down. He lands that a bit sideways from Ekstrom, and I think that's allowed Kristoffersen just to close that gap a tiny bit. He's taken a lot of edge.
So McConnell using the Anoa hyperdrive earlier in the lap to get himself out into the lead. That looks like that was the right decision, because up on 2 wheels to a right. McConnell almost binning it just before the finish line. He's going to bring it home over a couple of crests in the background. There is the finish, tantalisingly close again. Here comes McConnell over the line. X44 make it. P2 for Acciona Science should see them top qualifiers. RXR, massive jump for Kristoffersen, and we think based on the Continental Traction Challenge that will be enough to put both our championship teams through to the grand final, and the championship will go down to the wire.
That was breathless, wasn't it? Good job from McConnell and Gutierrez using that Anoa hyperdrive as he left the switch zone. I think vital in winning that.
Ekstrom, look, just a little frown, but it's job done. They've got the car in. They're in place. Yeah, brilliant job. So Ekstrom rolls back to the paddock. His teammate Laia Sands is down in the command centre. Laia, that was a great performance by you and Matthias. You're into that all-important grand final. The championship is going to go down to the wire. How are you feeling?
Well, we are feeling good. We've been feeling strong all the weekend, and yeah, it was a pity that I was a bit too careful in the entry of the pit, but I didn't want to have a big penalty, so yeah, we are in the final and all to play there.
I think you have to, though, at this point in time, don't you, Lia? You have to be conservative in order to progress to the final.
Yeah, of course, and there, the final will decide the champion. Anyway, we need to win, so that's the goal.
I hope you're excited. Thank you so much. You go and get yourself prepared for the final.
Incredible stuff, isn't it? Big pressure for all the teams, but Lia, knowing that she did the, said basically they want, she didn't want to come in P2. You said it, Jenny. Oh, is that Leah Block? Yeah, that's Leah Block to the back, the RXR machine. You can hear them shouting, and they were hooked up, in fact. So yeah, that was oh dear, wow. That was nervous times. We didn't see that, did we, at the time? Look, it was hooked up completely.
She managed to unconnect herself a bit.
That would have been awful for RXR, wouldn't it, at the time? There goes the bodywork off the back of the car later in the lap. Celebration to X44. They've won the Traction Challenge. That will put them into the final. What does it mean, though, for RXR, who've dropped to P2? There were 3 teams tied on points, but I think GMC Hummer EV, Chip Ganassi Racing, will drop out because of that. So it might mean RXR have made it. That's the winners of the various heat races. The all-important page is the points page, which is next. Have a look at this. RXR, they are. RXR are in, so at X44, but by the skin of their teeth, RXR have made it. If Chip Ganassi Racing had gone 0.3 of a second quicker, RXR would not have made the final. Wow. So we thought during the race 0.4 was going to be enough. X44 did a brilliant job. McCollum Gutierrez stolen the Traction Challenge. 2 championship points for that. We'll look at that later. But all importantly, Acciona Science and RXR are in the final. Well, that was quite the drama, wasn't it, to finish off qualifying. Absolutely fantastic action. Way less carnage than yesterday. 2 championship fighters in such great positions. Fantastic.
Yeah, it really makes you amazed at this championship. Time and time again, you think, okay, where's this going? And then you get some qualifying like that, and it was magic.
It's come down to the last round every time, last finals. It came down to count back the first year. There is a chance it could come down to that today once we've done the maths. I know. It's going to be a lot of paperwork flying around in this commentary box, and people with frantic in WhatsApp groups all over the world.
We've got a big abacus here.
Yeah.
You can't see it.
Keep it simple.
We have, haven't we, Jess? And we're going to throw all the beads one way or another.
Now, carnage was the name of the game yesterday, but today, I mean, it's thrilling, isn't it? We are on the edge of our seats with all of this going on, and goodness me, I'm so glad it's come down to this, and it is this close, because it's what we all want.
Yeah,
Quite
absolutely.
Interesting. If you heard about Fraser McConnell saying they'd made setup changes in the X44 car, and it's helped them to get that Continental Traction Challenge. They were way off the pace earlier, but after qualifying 2, there they are. And can they have any effect on who will finish where? Can they have an effect on the championship?
Franz has just actually sent me a WhatsApp message saying 1 more podium with a strong arm emoji. So I know he's going to be wanting the top step. If the car's good underneath them, this is the thing you see. None of these drivers need to worry about the championship. When you've got RXR and Acciona Science looking at every position, where they've got to be, what they've got to score, and everybody else is going, I just need to be in front of you. I want to win.
Yeah. Winning is the name of the game, isn't it?
Sure is. That was the contact. That was nervous. Listen to the teams shouting in the background. And look, Leah's done what she's been doing all weekend, the latest braking possible. That's what you've got to do. That's what Johan did to pass people. No, there's no criticism of trying it, but it just, if you're RXR, you're like, oh, no, not now. It makes you so nervous, doesn't it?
Yeah, when you haven't got the control, you want it back, and having that Colcox car right at the back of you, I was like, hang on a minute.
Talk about nerve-wracking. I mean, we all wanted this. It comes down to this. My goodness, what an end to the season.
Yeah, brilliant to see the progression as well of some of these drivers. Leah Block, Hedda Hozos, particularly for me, 2 drivers who've really shone this weekend.
And
Fraser
Fraser.
McConnell, fist pump, stoked. So this is the Zenith Dream Team. It's Tanner Faust and Lia Sands. There we go. So 1 driver from McLaren and 1 driver from Acciona Science. That's good for Acciona Science, isn't it, in terms of the championship fight? That's what you want.
It is what you want, and they'll be very happy with that. Gives them a bit of confidence going into this absolute final. The last one of the whole season. We are here for round 10. Chile, South America. What a setting it is.
44, fresh from just finding out you are through to the final, leading the Conti Challenge. Faraz, that was a loose lap at times. You were fully sending it, but I guess you had to.
Yeah, no, it was the sketchiest lap I've ever done in my entire life. But you know, the wicked thing about Extreme E, it's not just me who did the traction challenge to get us through. Chris also put in a monster lap. Came in the pitch and she said, the car feels great. We got the setup wrong in Q1. She came out of the car and said, the car feels great, go for it. So I knew that I had the confidence to go for it, and well, I couldn't do more.
What are you feeling then ahead of the final with this much confidence from such a good run out there?
Wow, it was an incredible race. I was unbelievable, the driving of Fraser. He did a very good job. I tried to do our best. It was not the best position in the start, and I was trying everything to catch Laia. Finally, we entered at similar time, and Fraser did the rest, so we are very happy. The team are very happy, and they deserve it.
Well done. Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.
Just love to see how pumped they are. But Extreme E's race locations, well, they are chosen carefully based on the story they tell about climate change. And over its 3 seasons, the championship has travelled to the likes of Greenland, reporting on melting glaciers, and Senegal to spotlight rising sea levels. Now, this round, we're in Chile, and we're looking at the circular economy, a model which is based on closing the loop of consumption. And Chile is an example of how this is being deployed across a number of different industries.
So many of the key environmental problems of our times are due to our behavior as consumers, consuming materials for a short use and then dump it away. So this use and throw economy has really led us into a problem of waste and a problem of pollution that we need to reverse. And the way to reverse this is learning from nature and establishing circular economies in the way we use materials and the way we use produces. So in a circular economy framework, we avoid the huge problem of waste accumulation that creates pollution that affects the lives of humans, but also affect the lives of wildlife.
Here in Chile, we've seen examples of the circular economy in motion at the Cerro Dominador solar thermal plant. Plants similar to this power the Antofagasta copper mines, allowing them to harvest essential copper to sustain the increase in renewable energy. Extreme E contributes to the circular economy by championing renewable energy sources, such as solar, wind, and hydrogen. Hydrogen will play a key part in the circular economy, powering heavy industry such as steel. Electric vehicles are forecast to account for 2/3 of global light vehicle sales in 2035. Studies have shown the typical break-even point in carbon emissions for EVs was about 15,000 to 20,000 miles. From that point onwards, you will be positively contributing to the circular economy.
So the energy transition requires many elements that need to be thought through in the context of circular economies. In the Atacama Desert, where we face those challenges of how to reconcile precious water resources with wildlife, with the metals that we need for the energy transition, we're also witnessing solutions coming to life. One of them is that Antofagasta Minerals is no longer using fresh water for their operations. They're pumping seawater using renewable energy from the ocean to the mines and covering all of the workflows that require water from seawater. So continuing the way we have been using products and generating waste is no longer an option. So enabling circular economies in every product that we manufacture, every activity that we engage on is a fundamental for a sustainable future.
The circular economy, just one of the amazing ways that Extreme E is promoting about how we can get out of the climate crisis that we're in. But over to grid play and talk about crisis. Oh, racing, bit of crisis, isn't it, Jenny?
I know there's a lot at stake when it comes to grid play. All of the drivers are having their say in where they want to start, and Acciona Science, well, Ekstrom's chosen grid slot 5. What are their championship rivals going to choose? RXR. They didn't get first choice or second or even third.
No, it's
right at the back.
Absolutely, and it's been a bit of a contentious point when we've gone to speak to them, hasn't it, about like where they're starting, and obviously they're not getting their first choice here. So is he gonna? Where's he gonna go? First or second slot? There we go. opposite end of the grid to Sainz. It's going to be a nice head-to-head. We're going to see them lining up. Are they going to look across to each other, you know?
I mean, they can't make contact from that far out, but you never know in this competition.
Interesting things for me there in terms of the grid position choices, that Veloce didn't choose pole. They didn't choose the inside, they chose the middle of the grid, where we've seen some brilliant starts from there. And when RXR had the chance to go slot 4 rather than slot 5, they didn't take it. They chose space on the outside. So is Johan thinking of, if I lose the start, I'll duck in. If I win the start, I'll try and take it. Jenny, what a finish to the season.
Is this all about control?
Always, always. I'm nervous. I know the drivers will be too.
Well, we saw RXR come from the back earlier, and, you know, such smooth overtakes to come P2 in the end.
Yeah, cannot wait. Going to be an absolutely stellar end to season 3. Is it going to be a brand new champion in Acciona Sainz, or are RXR going to win back the title from season 1? Round 10 of Extreme E 2023. We are reaching the final of the finale. Just 2 races left to go. The redemption race and, of course, the grand final. 2 title contenders left in this one. Going to be fantastic, isn't it, to see which one of them comes out on top. Jenny?
I'm so excited, I cannot tell you. Jess Rogers to the right of me, Andrew Cothers to the left, I'm in the middle, and we are going to call every single moment this grand finale.
Absolutely. Jenny Gow, amazing to have you back with us, and we're about to go in to the redemption race.
So let's take a look at some of the best action from today. Nervous times, isn't it, if you're in that championship fight? RXR here, look, and Acciona Sainz both in the same race. Contact almost at the start of that encounter. Desperately trying to get, you don't want anyone else to influence what's happening in your series. Look, this was the contact here just at the switch. So it's like, no, please, we want to make it through to the final. They're both in the final. We're just in for that incredible, it's a proper showdown.
As you say, we've done the maths. You don't have to do that. We will call it as we go and see who influences what positions. Can one of them take a clear lead and make it easy?
Well, make it easy for us, wouldn't it? Basically, yeah. We'll give you the rundown on how it's going to work. Don't worry, stay with us.
Well, let's take a look at the championship standing so far then. At the top, it is Rosberg X Racing. Are they going to win another championship? But just 5 points behind, and this is the big story. It's between RXR and Acciona Sainz. It is just 5 points. So what's going to happen? Are they going to take 1 and 2? Who knows?
Rosberg X Racing have been in this position before. They've won a title before. For Sainz, they haven't done that. They haven't won a championship, and they will be desperate to do that.
I think as well, remember, Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski came so close last year. She was in this position and didn't win it, so she will be feeling the pressure, as will Laia Sanz. You know, it would be the biggest win of her career in terms of a car championship as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And gosh, I mean, it could be either of them, but they're really going to have to battle it out. I mean, at the top, RXR. Are they going to take it, or is it going to be Acciona Sainz's year? We're going to wait and find out.
Championship leaders Acciona Sainz have been part of the series since its inception. This season has seen Carlos Sainz as team boss as he passes on the wealth and wisdom from a highly distinguished career in racing.
The way I was first time involved in Extreme E obviously was through Alejandro. You know, I am doing the Dakar, I am doing off-road championship. The cars and the specialty has a lot of common points with what I'm doing, so I said, why not? Trying to start my team as well. Having one of the biggest companies in Spain, which is Acciona, that think about sustainability in this high level, involved in the championship was very, very important. And having QBTech, which has been involved with electric cars and electric competition, was the ideal partner to mix all together. I am obviously towards the end of my career, but I enjoyed the first 2 years that I did. It was not easy, especially the first one. The second one, we were much more competitive, and we have a good run with one nasty accident, but yeah, it was good. I knew Laia from before, from her time in motorcycle, and I know that she was interested to change in cars, and I offered her the opportunity to help her to do this transition.
Carlos is a legend, and for me to receive that call, it was a big surprise. I was moving from bikes. I had no experience, so can you imagine to start your four-wheels career with Carlos Sainz? It's something amazing.
For me, has been the girl that has made the most progress since minute number 1 of race number 1 up to today, without any doubt. With Matthias, I have no doubt. The moment I have my injury in the Dakar and I need to react quickly, I need to think who could drive the car. No? And I know Matthias from competing against him in Extreme E, and I know Matthias as a teammate in Audi.
Carlos as a boss, I think he's very competitive. He likes the details, he likes the technical side of the team, but then in the evenings we can also have a lot of fun. I think for any driver it's nice when the team boss is at the race, being able to share with him and good or bad moments, successful or tough days. I think he has very big understanding for it.
Carlos, this third season that he's not racing, but he's still really close to us and he's coming to the races. It's cool because I can have advices from Matthias and also from Carlos.
Coming up to the last race weekend of the year, it's always nice to be battling for the championship. It becomes a little bit more of a strategic battle race versus the first one of the year when you have to beat everyone.
Obviously, we are here to give everything.
We are competitive, we feel strong, we can do a great result this year.
We are fully charged to do a good weekend.
Two races to go as we fast approach the end of the season now. Redemption race up first. These are drivers who will be looking to put a little advertisement out there for their skills for next year, see what points they can win back in their last encounter on track. Here we go, let's get set for it.
Attention all teams, this is race control. Stand by for the start of the Antofagasta Minerals Copper X Prix. The redemption race is about to commence. Energize your systems and prepare to race.
Here we go then, redemption race time. Only 4 teams in it, so they've got a little bit more space on the grid, but that hasn't necessarily played out to anyone's advantage during the course of this weekend. It's been full-on carnage.
They're doing so many fist bumps. That's what we do.
So
I love it. Thank you. I love seeing other people's race prep, how they get themselves in.
This is the redemption race, but there's still tension, and the grid looks like this. On the left-hand side of your screen, it is Carl Cox Motorsport with that inside line, and then you've got Apt Cooper. We've got the men going first here. So then in the next lane, it is RJ Anderson for Chip Ganassi Racing, and on the right-hand side of your screen, with a lot of space, it is JBXE and Andreas Bakkerud going there.
Yep, all 4 cars waiting to go, 4 laps on the clock. And Andrew Coley, you're going to take the start.
Thank you very much, mate. I'm nervous. I'm always nervous at this point in the season, particularly when championships are up for the grabs. You know, I know it's only the redemption race, but it's that feeling of it being championship day and heading towards the end point of the season.
Just looking at those flags, they're waving around a bit more. We saw yesterday the flags, the dust kicked up as well. These conditions are tricky.
Redemption race time then, about 15 seconds before the drivers get launched off down to turn 1. Andreas Bakkerud, RJ Anderson, Tombe and Scheider in there as well. Adrian Tombe had an impressive debut weekend. I think he's never driven on the loose before this weekend. Bear that in mind up against these legends of off-road. This will give us a taste of the grid slots for the grand final still to come. Veloci have chosen the centre of the grid. It looks good, doesn't it? Because that's an amazing launch immediately by RJ Anderson for the Hummer EV Chip Ganassi Racing Squad. It does mean, of course, that neither of our championship contenders will be in that slot come the grand final in just a few minutes' time. Andreas Bakkerud trying the round the outside move for JBXE. Is he going to get up the inside of Timo Scheider? Runs up the dirt bank on the outside line. In the background there, the Apt Cooper machine of Tombe is heading up the banking pretty high. Scheider right there with RJ Anderson, door to door. Scheider up the inside, runs a wheel over the dirt. That's an absolutely fantastic pass. RJ Anderson going to try and come back in the next left-hander. Scheider runs a little bit wide. There's still side by side as they come over the crest down. They've both had moments off this crest this weekend. This time they both get away with it. Scheider and the Hummer alongside again. Side by side as they take this next run. Better traction here for R.J. Anderson. He's on the inside. He's going to run deep on the exit. Scheider will get underneath him. Almost contact between them. Jenny, finally I can get you in. That's a wild old ride from turn 1 to there.
Absolutely fantastic racing. And as we wait to see who's going to climb out over the summit, look at that. It's wonderful racing, and they were so close at so many times. They were so close to the banking as well, which could have tipped them up, but they're still going for it. Scheider wants to find a way around, and R.J. Anderson saying, no, thank you very much. I'm staying out in front, thank you.
Offers great overtaking opportunities, doesn't it, this track, which is why we love it so much. The drivers, several of them saying the same thing, that it's just such a fun place to race. Anderson has put the gap up to 0.8 of a second. That's nothing right now, but we are a quarter of the way into this one. That's that sequence of bumps, which is so hard to get right. Scheider ends up out wide. If you mess it up, it's a long straight afterwards, and the momentum really counts.
Yeah, you just see now that the GMC Hummer EV is just stretching their legs a little bit. Anderson with that great battle at the start, going head-to-head with Scheider, but now is settled down a bit, and I think R.J. Anderson can find his footing out there. He wants to go well today, and he's doing just that at the moment.
Stunning drive through that long left-hander, wasn't it, using all of the track width and the commitment that's necessary to carry that kind of speed over that kind of distance and not run across the dirt on the outside is impressive.
Back row is coming back, actually. The JBXE coming down the inside. Who's gone wrong?
Yeah, the Hummer's off the road. Broken front right corner on the Hummer. Sorry, the Carl Cox. Sorry, my bad. Carl Cox, broken suspension. That is such a shame for Scheider. Yeah, that was strange, wasn't it, Jenny? It happened early in the corner. He ran wide. Backward gets up the inside line, so it looks like a steering arm broken for Timo Scheider. Let's have another look at it. He clipped the inside line, so he turns in here, and it just doesn't go where he thinks. It's broken as he's turned in through that rut, which is one of the ones we've been watching out for taking tyres off. As he's turned in, the partner's finally given up. So backward up to P2.
That's such a shame for Timo Scheider. He had such a good launch and was seemingly going for the lead, but it's not to be. However, that leaves that back road to come back at Anderson. What can he do on this last lap for the guys before they hand over?
Well, they've been struggling with pace, haven't they, JBXE, during the course of the day. The car hasn't been quite on form, we think, because look at their lap times. Molinaro and Bakker just haven't quite been there, and we know that's not the case in terms of the talent behind the wheel. So they're coming in towards the end of the second lap. Of course, they're going to hand over to their counterparts. They're more in the fight this time. He's risking it, isn't he? Someone should get on the radio and go, you're all right, you know, there's a little bit of a gap.
You said, didn't you, about people putting the shop window being open, and R.J. Anderson is going out there and going, you know what, not only am I going to have fun, not only am I going to have the memory of Carl Leduc sitting on my heart and in the car, but I'm also going to go and showcase what I can do and maybe attract someone else.
Jess Sendy, Jess.
Well, 100%. I mean, R.J. Anderson, you know, it's kind of, you know, his season, his first proper season in Extreme E this year, and he's been wanting to have a point to prove, because this race, this redemption race, it's not about the points on the board anymore, is it? It's about point to prove.
On board there, interesting to see holding that switch down the centre of the dash. You can understand how they managed to slip off it. It's quite a long stretch for your right hand into that centre console to hold the button down on the way in. We've seen plenty of people make a mistake with that over time. Here's that chocolate on a road. That's something new this weekend we've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes it so much easier to then release the car afterwards. This is Clara Anderson getting in the car. She took a really bad tumble this weekend, and we're hoping that, you know, she's going to be hoping that she gets a great run on her final go of this whole season for Extreme E.
Can you believe she didn't ache at all this morning?
I
She's
know.
Like Viking warrior. That's what they've called her, because she was absolutely sturdy and got back in the car. That's what you have to do.
Yeah, she said she didn't hurt at all, and after that many rolls in one of these cars, wow, my goodness, I'm glad that she was okay. Now we see that Amanda Sorensen is going out first here, and she's a youngster. She's really proving herself as well. Let's hope that she puts down a great run here.
But perhaps I think for me, Sorensen, when she made her debut at the start of this year, it was incredibly impressive to immediately be on the pace with drivers who've been in the car for 2 years. So Sorensen, another one, say silly season starting. It's only going to be about a 9-week silly season between drivers swapping between the teams, because you'll be able to join us February the 16th and 17th, Saudi Arabia, round 1 next year of Extreme E Season 4. Keep your eyes on social media, and we'll let you know where the other races are going to be and what dates they're on. But yeah, 9 weeks if you're a team boss to be getting on the phone, sending those messages. I reckon a few will be flying around already.
I love it. They almost have covert messages in open, broad daylight, because they have to. That's when the paddock is there. I've heard of some great stories up and down my time in motorsport of people having secret meetings in paddocks, in cafes, in very strange places to just get that contract signed. It's fascinating.
Yeah, somewhere where you don't get seen by anybody else, isn't it? You need to keep it secret. You can't just be walking into a team's motorhome in F1 or here, attend. Yeah, we do things, we're a little bit more basic, but we still like it. You're on board with Sorensen. There's the view of her on the left-hand side. Look at the amount of steering inputs, then look on the right. You can see the movements of the car a little bit less pronounced than the movements of the steering. She's trying to keep it smooth, but with the rear of the car sliding the whole time there. Look, correct, over the bumps, up over the top. Watch her flick right over the crest now. Here it is over the crest, land the car back on it into the left-hand side. So great to see.
And from its inception, Extreme E has always had 50% female drivers to 50% male. And in fact, the females' times have improved by 26% since the first season. But can you guys just get across the pedigree of these drivers and how good they actually are?
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant, isn't it? It's been great to see. I mean, I love the fact the gap is closer. I love the fact the speed is faster. We've seen that battle yesterday in the final between the male and the female drivers is probably one of the best we've had. And yeah, fantastic.
Oh, look at this. That Cooper want to come and play. They're trying to track down the JBXC team, and they're right up behind them. Are they going to dash to the right? I think they are. Over the finish line. They've got another lap to go. Can they keep it on, though? They've gone off the track a little bit, and there's no damage for that, just the time penalty that will ensue. So they're going to take the inside now and try and cut back. Can they keep it? It's going to be hard on this bit. Both of them, I think, have got their Noah Power
Hyperdrive, yeah.
Hyperdrive left.
That's the one.
Up the inside, look, Clara Anderson just a little nerf into the door, and that's Molinaro dispatched. So Anderson had better speed, you could see that, so just wasn't able to get through. Molinaro doing a great job of keeping the door closed, and Clara Anderson has found a way through. Unfortunately, I think now 12.9 seconds off the Hummer EV, going to be tough to close that down. So for Sorensen, this should be a cruise to the finish line, but she's got a few more corners to go yet.
Yeah, she's really impressed me. As you say, she's quite young, she's new to this series, and I can only think that the better and more is to come from her.
I think so too. Up and over the crest now. What's the gap? Still some 12 seconds into the left-hander at the bottom. That now is really interesting because it's wet, then dust, then wet. And we saw from Q2, the cars come in first, we get mud sprayed up, then the dust comes up, which gives visibility further back issues. But no problems for Sorensen. Out front, clean screen, good to go.
I think the onboard we just saw there was really interesting because you see how much height there is and how much undulation there is going on. And just there, you saw how much height they got off the ridge, and they've just used their Noah Hyperdrive there to get them home fast.
So the Hummer EV team take the finish. They'll come up, do the jump, and a win for the Hummer EV team. And that is so deserving for them. Up they go over the ramp, and look at that style. Sorensen and Anderson teaming up to do tribute to Carla Duke and the number 99 car. Well done. In second place is the Apt Cooper, and coming home behind them is the JBXC team, who are now using their Renault Hyperdrive. A great race at the start. Such a shame for Timo Scheider and Carl Cox Motorsport that they couldn't complete it, but what a battle we saw. And if that's just a taste of what's to come, we are in for a tasty treat.
We are indeed. Shame, isn't it, not to see Leah Block on that final run with the broken steering for Scheider, but as we say, we said a few times today, great progression by her in her races in Extreme E, and we wish her the best of luck with F1 Academy. Leah, if you can find a sneaky way in that contract to come back and do a bit more, you're always welcome in off-road, you know that.
Wouldn't it be lovely? Don't think it's going to happen, but it would be nice.
Sorensen releases the belts as she rides back to the paddock. Job done for this season. It must be a strange feeling, isn't it, when you know all that adrenaline's gone. It's not, oh, we'll go racing again in a couple of months. Well, I say that. It is. It's only 9 weeks. So it's not, we haven't even really got an off-season because of the 2-month gaps. I suppose that cadence is good, isn't it?
But they feel tired after this. Right, let's go down and hear from R.J. Anderson. What a great job into the command centre. RJ, an amazing job. How pumped are you feeling?
Yeah, you know, we had a kind of a testing weekend here for this Chip Ganassi racing team, so I'm pumped to be able to bring home this win in the redemption race. Amanda drove her butt off all season long. This whole team has crushed it all season long. I had that crash earlier in the weekend that I'm sure you've seen, and it put us on our back foot, and the team kept working hard. So unfortunately, missed the grand final, but we did the next best thing, put our best foot forward, and brought the win home here in this redemption race.
A first full season for you, RJ, in Extreme E. You've been to some incredible venues, haven't you? We've enjoyed watching your super sideways style along with Amanda. How's your first full season in Extreme E been?
Yeah, it's awesome. You know what? Coming into Extreme E, I didn't really know what to expect, and what I've learned is it's a very steep learning curve. You're racing the best of the best here in Extreme E's from top to bottom. I mean, there's 10 teams that I believe could honestly win a race any given weekend. So I've learned a lot. We were a new team coming into it this year. I don't know. We didn't really know what to expect. Me and Amanda worked really good together. Chip Ganassi Racing Team gave us the best car they could week in, week out. So we made 7 finals, won a lot of qualifiers. Didn't get that win in the final like we also hoped for, but happy to come away with this redemption race win, and looking forward to more Extreme E in the future.
Good to know. Great to have you with us. Thank you, RJ. Congrats on the win in the redemption race. Good job. There we go then. That is the redemption race done, and we have just one more encounter out on track. The grand final, the championship decider, still to come.
Right then, next we're going to be looking at the official results of that race, and what a setting we've got here. Looks like Mars. It isn't. It's Chile. With a DNF was unfortunately Carl Cox Motorsport, and a bit off the pace. In third place was JBXE. In second, at Cupra, and of course, first was Hummer EV Chip Ganassi Racing, with a bit of redemption there. And I think we're going to take a look at how things are shaping up overall ahead of our grand final of this round 10 and championship decider here in Antofagasta, Chile. And yep, this is how it looks. So redemption race gets you 8 points, but it's not really about that. It's all about the grand final, and it's about RXR versus Acciona Sainz. That's what we're all here for. They're opposite ends of the grid to start off with, but will they be at the opposite end of the grand final?
Right, this is a replay of that race, the redemption race, and you can see just how hard Carl Cox and the Hummer EV team tried to battle together. It was unbelievable, as you can see. They're battling out and taking way too much of the sidings, but actually it was pretty good at this stage. It was pretty decent, wasn't it, to watch the two of them duke it out. So they carried on duking it out. Time and time again, look how close they were. It was Carl Cox, then it was the EV team, and they just keep on going. The conditions look pretty good out there as well for a good battle, which is what we're thinking about going forward. But this, the moment, unfortunately, that the suspension went for Carl Cox and they had to retire the race. No chance of seeing Leah Block out there, unfortunately for her. But it meant the coast was clear for the Hummer EV team to take the lead. This was a good duke it out as well. At Cupra taking second spot from JBXE, and there it was. Car number 99 taking the win, Amanda Sorensen and RJ Anderson doing a terrific job. Well done to them, taking a win at the final redemption race.
Cars lining up on the grid. Look, there is RXR already out there in slot number 5, and we can see our camera going in the side of the door already. Acciona Sainz waiting just in the pre-grid area before they head onto the start line. And now the nerves really start to build for everybody, including us here, and I hope you guys at home as well, as we come to the end of what's been another fantastic season. I can't believe Extreme E's gone right down to the wire for 3 years in a row. Aren't we lucky? It really has been fantastic.
And you've been here every step of the way, haven't you, Andrew? How does it feel then, being at the end of season 3? You've seen it all.
Pretty crazy, to be honest. Yeah, when the championship started, you know, and we got in touch with each other, let's say, you know, I was like, I quite fancy doing that. I really do. Lucky enough to get the call up for it. It's been brilliant. Look at the dust flying over the side. The drama's not over yet. Even the terrain knows what's coming up.
I can tell you the tension down here in the paddock is palpable. Laia Sanz alongside me for Acciona Sainz. And look, there's plenty of permutations going on in terms of who will win this championship, but for you guys it's pretty simple. You've got to win this final, haven't you?
Yeah, if we don't win, it's gonna start to be more complicated, and then it's too difficult. So we will try to do our best to win. You know, at this point we have nothing to lose. We need to do our best to push as much as we can, and then we see. The good thing is that we still depend on us. So if we win the championship, and that's the most important.
Yeah, it's still in your hands, isn't it? Yeah. Best of luck to you, Laia. Thank you very much. Oh, I tell you what, it's getting tense down here, isn't it? The drivers will be trying to stay relaxed, and one man who is, I think, permanently relaxed is Johan Kristoffersen, who joins me now. Johan, Acciona Sainz have to win this final, really, to be in with a clear shot of winning the title. For you guys, you have to finish ahead of them, and you are champions. What are the emotions for you right now?
Yeah, I think if they win, no matter what. And if they are second, or worse, if we are the position behind, we win.
no matter traction challenge. So yeah, it will be interesting, but yeah, let's see, we'll try to do our best.
Talk to me about the approach on the start then as well, and making sure you put yourselves in the best position for Michaela to defend.
Yeah, we just enjoyed another grid play, so let's see how it will go, but I will try to do my best going into T1 and see where we end up, and then yeah, hopefully Q2 was quite tricky, it was quite dusty, difficult to follow a car in front. Hopefully final will be a little bit more damp track, so it's a little bit easier to race. And then, yeah, it will just be exciting. I mean, I really enjoyed the final yesterday with Matthias, so hopefully we can have another final like that. That would be fantastic. And then hand the cars over to Michaela and Lai and just sit back and watch.
May the best team win. Thanks very much, Johan. Best of luck to you. Best of luck to Acciona Science as well. This is it. 10 rounds of Extreme E in 2023, and it all comes down to one final race. This is the grand final.
Attention all teams, this is race control. Stand by for the start of the Antofagasta Minerals Copper X Prix. The grand final is about to commence. Energize your systems and prepare to race.
To what the Vodafone Command Centre is about the tensest place on earth right now, although I have to say the commentary box is a pretty close second. So we are so excited about this encounter. It's gone down to the wire. It goes down to the last race of the season.
Oh, look at that. Veloce, Molly Taylor, looking excited, looking happy to be there. There's a lot of different emotions going around there. Cristina de Gutierrez for X44 looking very serious. And Michaela Arling-Kotelinski knows that she will have the car. That Johan Kristoffersen will try and get off the start and win this race. But oh my goodness.
Yeah, goodness me, the tension is at its peak. Now, on the left-hand side, starting on the inside lane, it is Acciona Science, all male drivers to kick things off. Next to them, you have got McLaren and Tanner Faust. In the middle, it will be Veloce with Kevin Hansen. Then we've got X44, Fraser McConnell. And on the right-hand side of your screen, it will be Johan Kristoffersen, RXR. We are stood up in the commentary box. We're on the edge of our seats or toes, shall we say. And I bet they are too for the last grid and the last race of the season.
It's as simple as this. 5 points stand between RXR and Acciona Science. If they win RXR, they win the championship.
Now, likewise, if Acciona Science take the win, the championship is theirs. If RXR are ahead any position, they win. It gets complicated, doesn't it, after that? Acciona Science P4 and P5, not enough. Then we've got the Continental Traction Challenge, but I think it's going to be a little bit simpler than that. I think this is all going to kick off fairly early in this race. Here we go. One last race to decide the 2023 Extreme E title. 5 cars on the line, some of the very best drivers in the world. Ekstrom has the inside line, Kristoffersen is on the outside. Good start in the middle for Kevin Hansen, but Veloce just flies up now. Everybody using their Renault Hyperdrive. Kristoffersen chose slot number 5 to give himself a bit of space. He's got Fraser McConnell inside him. Matthias Ekstrom trying to get the whole shot on the inside line. Acciona Science going to be there. RXR trying to come right the way round. It looks like he's going to hold on to P3. Kristoffersen trying to go up the inside. The Jamaican up on 2 wheels. The RXR up on the top of the banking. Johan Kristoffersen saved the biggest roll there with an enormous moment, and now they have it all to do. Ekstrom is out front for Acciona Science. If it carries on like this, they'll be champions, but RXR are going to fight back. You're in for a race now.
Can you believe that save? The save of the century. I mean, what he did to get that car stopped back down, that was extreme reactions. I bet Michaela Arling-Kotelinski couldn't even watch, but they know what they have to do there now. They have to come back.
Unbelievable. I really thought he was going over in the background. At the minute you can see points down bottom right of your screen, that would mean then that Acciona Science are champions. We're trying to look at the front of the RXR to see if there's a puncture or not. It seems to be on the pace at the moment. They're only 4.3 back. He's got a lower steering lock on. I think he is in. We need to see an outside. He's holding the wheel at a bit of an angle. Has Kristoffersen picked up a puncture? Where is he? Come on, over there. I think they have.
Rear right. Rear left?
No, I think it's front right. If it's anything, that's what we're hearing. What's the gap now? 6.4. Come on. Oh, it's so hard to see.
Front right looks to be ailing a little bit, but they're losing time.
There's dirt
and they're
flying
taking
up
a
from
lot
it.
of dirt. At the front, Axiona Science look like they're going to get passed by the Veloce team. Hansen versus Ekstrom, and McConnell further back, is not too far further back, one lap round, and Axiona Science stood out at front. RXR falling back. What does this mean for the championship?
So RXR 8.8 seconds off the back. We need confirmation of whether or not Kristoffersen has a puncture. We'll bring that to you as soon as we possibly can. Yeah, he's on a ghost though. Front right's gone down. Is the dream over for RXR? Remember, it all depends on points in this one. If it depends, Axiona Science now got to have a bit of a shocker. Other teams have got to pass them and push them back. But RXR are heading into the pit to change the front right. Are they just going to park it? They're going to know probably they're in there.
No, they will never give up. Surely that RXR team don't give up. They'll try and find another tyre. They'll try and fix it. Only 2 allowed in there. But at the moment, it's Axiona Science leading the way from Kevin Hansen in the Veloce team. And if this is it, this is enough for Carlos Sainz and Axiona Science team to win.
Jacks are in, so they've not sent, obviously, Arlen Kotlinski. Johan's staying in the car, strapped in. They're going to get him out as quick as they can. Kevin Hansen wants to take a win here for Veloce. Remember, any contact, any problem for Axiona Science, any tech fault, if they come P4, RXR still win the championship. If RXR are 1 place behind them, this isn't over until the end of the race. We know how much carnage can be in Extreme E, and you've got 4 cars here inside 3.4 seconds, and an enormous jump from Tanner Faust in the background, just to shine a light on how spectacular this is.
And Kristoffersen there in the car, so frustrated, nothing he can do. He just has to wait. Can they fix it? Can they get him out? In the meantime, he's probably watching a screen somewhere, getting updates of how far Axiona Science are in front.
He's on the way already, so Johan Kristoffersen's wheel has been changed. He's rolling out of the pit area already, so he's rolling out the switch zone, tightens up his belts. He knows he's got to get out there and get amongst it. Into the switch zone comes Ekstrom. I tell you what, they can still go as well for the Continental Traction Challenge. There are a couple of occasions where they can tie on points, and then they would need those extra couple of points to try and win the title. Here's a look at the start.
Right, let's watch this, because RXR at the moment have to pull on the brakes because Veloce are just in front of them. Axiona Science get a fairly clean start, and this is where they take that ridge and go up and wide, and maybe that's exactly where the damage was done. Have a look on board. This is the moment where they have that very close call.
We saw him go up on 2 wheels. Look at that. At that moment, I wonder if it's where it comes back down. Think about the weight of the car and the momentum onto it right down on. Such a shame, but as I say, this isn't over yet. Laya Sands climbing in from Matthias Ekstrom. It's a puncture for Faust as well. Front right's down on the McLaren. Steering broken too, so he's taken a big hit. Yeah, look at the angle between the 2 different wheels. You can see the tyres down too. So
wonder what happened there. We didn't see that. We'll try and find a replay, but at the moment, Laya Sands is out in front. She could take this championship. They can take this championship for the Axiona Science team if they get a clean road round.
Top left-hand side of your picture there, Johan Kristoffersen is pushing hard. Remember now, McLaren have gone from this, so suddenly RXR are going to come round, do the switch zone. If that McLaren doesn't move, then they're going to have to P4. There it goes, it goes. Panic stations, isn't it? I know, you nearly have a heart attack.
Another one.
I know, Jenny, I know. Look at Laya Sands. She looks straight away across the left and right-hand side of the car to see who's in her mirrors. It's Molly Taylor, the Season 1 champion. Taylor, what's Taylor done? Has she released early? I think Taylor went early from the switch zone, surely.
She got a real jump on her. I don't know how she managed to do that. Well, again, look at the replays. But that is Molly Taylor in the Veloce leading around the Axiona Science team. At the moment, it would still be enough for Axiona Science to win the championship as things stand. Let's have a look at the replay. This is McLaren and what happened to them. Hard on the brakes into the switch zone. Oh! That's the second time that's happened.
Hit the back of the X44 machine super hard.
Did they just lock up?
Bear in mind here, if X44 have taken damage and were to retire, McLaren look like they're already out. You might find Veloce getting a penalty. RXR could end up behind Axiona Science yet. This is not over yet. Now Arlen Kotlinski goes in. All she can do is get that car to the finish as fast as she can. Oh, as Sands gets ultra sideways, trying to get back past Molly Taylor. If Taylor has released early, they should get on the radio and just say, hold P2. They're going to get a penalty, but she won't know that yet.
No, we can only go by what the live team championship says, and at the moment it's 177, 174, but that doesn't include any positions that they make up. And this is going to go down to the wire.
Jenny, if RXR were to get P4 and Sands was to stay in P2, they'd be 1 point apart, meaning that if RXR picked up the Continental Traction Challenge, they would win the title by 1 point. It could not be closer. Bear with us, guys. We're doing this live as quick as we possibly can. Sands now looks for another way through. Molly Taylor on the right-hand side of the track, say Season 1 champion, up against potentially the Season 3 champion, Laya Sands. Sands has got to balance the risk of trying to pass Taylor with the possibility of not having enough points to pick up this title with all the carnage that's going on. Bad bounce! It goes sideways! Spin! Laya Sands has gone round the championship leader! They don't roll, she's back going forwards again! This is unbelievable. We thought it was all over with RXR at the start, and it continues to deliver the drama right now. They've gone round and they're still going.
The saves just keep on happening from both of our championship contenders.
No,
they're gone wrong. Something's gone wrong for Laya Sands. She's off in the dirt, and RXR are through. They are through and into second position.
I think they're a lap down. They're still a lap. Oh, she's rolled. That's it. Acciona Sainz has gone over. Laya Sands has gone over on a roof after 2 spins. RXR. Oh no, the steering's broken for RXR. There is too much going on here. This is unbelievable. So now can Arlen Kotlinski get round for a lap and a half with broken steering and pick up the title? Because Acciona Sainz have rolled. The car is upside down in the track. She only needs to do 1 lap to get past where the Acciona Sainz is parked now, and they would win the championship.
So you can see RXR are just trying to get round, but they're using the handbrake all the time, and this is absolutely nightmare scenario for them and the championship for them.
Right, okay, we need to see what happens here. She gets alongside. No, this is the spin. So, but was it a tech fault that spanned the car? Because to spin twice in close succession is unusual. So she's gone round. Okay, on board with her here. Here it goes. Lucky to get away with that at that speed. That is incredible. Then we get more carnage, and she spins again. Where does the roll happen? X44 as well, by the way, they're a lap down, so they've also got problems. This is going back the way of Rosberg X Racing. Here it is over the crest, over the rocks on the inside line. Now she gets back on the gas. Is it as she tries to come back onto the track? She comes through the dust.
Second spin, she comes back onto the circuit and then flips the car over.
It's the slowest roll ever. She's so unlucky with the dust. She can't see where she's going. Their championship dreams lie in tatters along with their Odyssey 21. The X44 is broken. The rear left is hanging off it. The Veloce machine. What's going on with Veloce? Veloce have won the race. They've come over the line and won the checkered flag, but that's irrelevant. But there's X44 in the background.
I mean, this is carnage. You've got Veloce having won the race, then Rosberg X Racing are trying all their might to get back.
I think it's over. I think RXR are going to win the championship. They're 1 place behind Acciona Sainz, which is where they needed to be. The updates come on your screen, 179 to 177. Arlen Kotlinski, unless the X44 were to recover or this car breaks before the X44, RXR are going to win the title in the most bizarre of title-deciding races I've ever seen in my life. Up and over the line. Is that checkered flag for RXR? No, they're still a lap down. They're still a lap down.
A lap to go. So they have to go round again to take the flag, to take the checkered flag. At the moment, it's RXR and Michaela Arlen Kotlinski having the drive of her life. This is challenging. She's having to manually push this car round. It might as well be pushing it around behind the car, but she's doing a great job out there. Can she finish this and take the championship?
Jenny, the skill that's needed to stop this car from braking when you've got broken steering, and I mean properly braking the drivetrain to the point where you can't continue, is crazy. X44, here's the yellow. Here it is. So they're going to come round now and pass the stricken Acciona Sainz machine.
This is the slowest overtake.
It's the slowest championship finale. I cannot believe what's happened in this race. I cannot, seriously, I can't believe it. Can you?
I absolutely can't. And this is everyone stood around
and Johan Kristoffersen sitting together.
With the person who designed this whole thing, Alejandro Agag. And this is how it's going to look at the end if they finish like this. Rosberg X Racing will have 182 points. And Acciona Sainz, disastrous day for them. They will be left by the side with only 174 points. It will go to Rosberg X Racing if it stays like this.
Can I just point out as well that Veloce, even if Molly Taylor jumped that start, she's got a gap of 3 minutes 29. You'd have to give her quite the penalty to drop her back. poor Johan Kristoffersen and Matthias Ekström must be having heart attacks. They really must. Yeah, this is a team sport. They will be desperately disappointed, as will Laya Sands.
They'll be disappointed that it couldn't finish in the epic style that we know both teams could deliver. But you know what? They have earned this. They've been there every step of the way. You can see Michaela pulling on that gear stick, just trying to get it to go round the handbrake turn. I mean, this is really, really struggling. But you can see there two great champions next to each other, just shooting the breeze while Michaela does her hardest to get that car back.
I feel for them. You know, we all wanted to see an amazing race right through. Johan had that incredible moment. His heart must have sank. They were a lap down when Arlen Kotlinski got into this car, and then it all kicked off. Absolutely incredible. Coming down towards the finish line, it's going to take her a little while to get there. Look at the front right. She's driven this car for more than, well, two laps, basically. 2 laps in this condition. And getting it home is going to be absolutely a stellar job. Out at the end of the Continental Traction Challenge, no danger they're going to take that, I'm afraid, on this particular run around. X44 at the top of the Traction Challenge. Oh, you can hear everything clattering in the car. It makes you so nervous, doesn't it, as to whether or not they're going to get there.
All right, seems like they're going to really have to push all her might, use it, and you know this championship is there for you.
On board with Arlen Kotlinski. There's hardly a celebration in sight, is there, when you're just trying to drag it round to the finish line like this.
You can hear it. It's grunting. It doesn't want to go.
Hard work. But here they come, slowest finish in history, certainly for Extreme. It went down to the wire. Johan Kristoffersen is going to take back the title he took in season 1, and it's the biggest career title for Michaela Arlen Kotlinski, limping over the finish line. Rosberg X Racing are the 2023 Extreme champions in the most extreme race I think I've ever seen in my life.
Well, 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 my goodness, were any of us expecting that? I mean, I'm new to this, the commentary, look at them go. I mean, Extreme is extreme. It didn't disappoint. That was wild and sad. Jenny Gow.
It was...
Speechless.
And what do you say to that?
And now the emotion comes for Arlen Kotlinski. It's a mixture of relief. It's a mixture of I can't believe it. Jenny, 2020, what was it? What was the year in F1? 21, was it? The crazy year? I mean,
oh, yeah.
You know, that is rivaling that in terms of unbelievable storyline.
I want to listen to what she's saying.
It's probably Swedish. She's crying her eyes out in the car. This is the biggest title Michaela Arlen Kotlinski has ever taken, and I'm super pleased for her, I really am. Johan's 6-time World Rallycross champion. He won the first year in this, and he will be over the moon to have taken another title here, especially in those circumstances after the wildest ride ever. But for Michaela, look at the relief, especially after coming so close last year. I'm over the moon for her.
I mean, the highs and lows of motorsport summed up in Extreme E, and in that final, I can't believe what happened to the Acciona Science team. My heart is breaking for them, but at the same time I feel overjoyed from what Michaela has done and for what Johan has partnered and done together. It was, as you see, highs and lows.
Oh, and the Acciona Science car does look quite sad there, but it is really amazing to see the human side of all of this. We really hope that Laya Sands is doing okay and that role hasn't impacted her personally too much. But here are the official results of our grand final then. In a 5th, a DNF. In 4th, another DNF for Acciona Science, unfortunately. Then X44, they finished a lap back. And then in 2nd, in the most remarkable fashion, RXR came in. And in 1st, it was Veloce. But that does mean that RXR are our champions.
Doesn't really tell the story, does it?
I was just thinking that, like, we need another graphic. I mean, that is...
We need another show.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about the highlight show. It's going to be quite complicated, isn't it? You know, I mean, wow. I mean...
The debrief as well. All of these teams, as you say, they haven't got long until the next season starts, and they want to debrief, they want to find out what's happened. But look, these are the winners of the race.
Yeah, they
understandably happy for Veloce. They had a tough weekend to start with, but they brought it all back. But the championship winners, what can I say about Rosberg X Racing? What they've managed to achieve again.
Unbelievable. When they came in and we said they're not going to park it, are they? Of course they weren't. And then it unfolded in front of them. The puncture and the broken steering for McLaren, the broken suspension for the X44, the double spin. Here it is. Look at this. This is Laia Sanz chasing down Molly Taylor. The spin here, look, over the crest and down. Obviously, we need to talk to, I hope Laia might be back for an interview, but it's going to take her a while to get her back in there. Unbelievable scenes. Wow, so here it is from the top, from the drone, look, comes up the inside, one little bounce, kicks a rut, rear right kicks a rut, and round she goes, and then another one and a roll. Incredible. Unbelievable
for Acciona, but joy for Veloce Racing. Molly Taylor did a fantastic job. Kevin Hansen was ill yesterday, not anymore.
Winners of round 10, Veloce. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Molly, talk me through bringing that one home with the chaos that was happening behind you.
Yeah, the conditions were pretty rough out there. Oh, thank you. Look at that. There we go. That's better. So yeah, it was quite like a balance between trying to look after the car as well as bring it home. So, but you know, we're no championship fight, so we wanted to win. That's what we were going for. So for us, the mission was pretty clear and simple. So just really happy for the team. Pierre, our engineer, it's his last event with us, and he's just been such a rock. And we owe, so much of the success down to him. So we'll miss him, and thanks to him, this one's for him.
Congratulations to all of you, to the whole team. Kevin, you so often wear your heart on your sleeve. Can you begin to sum this one up? At the last time of asking, you get another win this season.
Starting on top, finishing on top. It was just a few things in between that was not perfect. But the Veloce team has been so amazing. You know, we have had such a great year. We just fell short from the technical problems this year to win the championship. But, you know, we have some great partners with Vex and Eon on board, and we can't wait for 2024.
And it is third in the championship for you guys as well. Congratulations. Enjoy the podium. Well done.
Yeah, shout out massively to Veloce because, you know, apologies, but there was so much going on that there we go. Confirmation of your 2023 teams champions, RXR. Johan Kristoffersson and Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski have got the job done. It's a second Extreme E title for Johan, and it's a first one for Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski. Brilliant job. They're with Laura now.
I don't even know how to begin this interview. Johan, I'm going to come to you first. How on earth did you save the car when it was up on two wheels, one wheel, and bring it home in some sort of one piece to give to Michaela?
Yeah, it wasn't the best handover to Michaela. I had to try to make something in the first corner, but not too crazy, and I was in a pretty good spot, but then, it was a very dusty or low visibility, so I turned in a little bit too early and I hit the bank on the inside, and that put me on two wheels. And then I collect another car on the outside, and I thought, because I was standing like 90 degrees on the road, that I hope no one drives straight into me. So they broke the track road on the suspension. But then I hand over the car to Michaela, and so happy for Michaela to win this race. But really, I think both Acciona and Rosberg deserve this win this year. But this year we was the one that won it.
Yeah, they really do. Both teams did. Michaela, Johan is a 6-time Rallycross champion. He's won Extreme E before. You are now an Extreme E champion. Can you begin to sum up your emotions?
First of all, I just want to say I've heard that Laia is okay, and I mean that is the most important thing. And like Johan said, you know, it was neck to neck the whole season, so really interesting fights with them. But for me, I'm just speechless. I'm just so happy. I mean, we were fighting so hard last year to get the win, and when I saw that he had the puncture, I just thought, okay, whatever. You know, we never give up. You just keep on pushing, and then what a roller coaster. I'm so happy for the whole team and everyone that's working with us, and this is a GOAT.
And this win we dedicate to Kyle Leduc.
Thank you very much indeed, Johan. Thank you, Michaela. Congratulations.
Well said, Johan Kristoffersson. Really well said. Some lovely words from both those drivers for their competitors, for a driver we loved and we lost. And fantastic, Johan. Scenes down there in the paddock. Jenny, I feel pretty emotional about it. Always feel pretty emotional at the end of a long season. I can't imagine what they've all gone through, sitting there and watching that unfold, and just incredible.
So let's look at the end of season points. RXR with 182 points, 11 points ahead of Acciona Science. They take second place. And look at that, Veloce Racing taking third spot, 155 points. Well done to our top three. X44, Vida Carbon Racing on fourth. And there was GMC Hummer with a good showing today on fifth. 6th for Apt Cupra, 7th for Andretti. Just a terrible season for them. They'll hope to come back and do better next year. 8th for Neon McLaren and 9th for Carl Cox Motorsport. And JBXE equal on 50 points in 10th place. Let's go and get the podiums, huh? A lot of people will be celebrating or commiserating.
Welcoming our podium finishers to the stage. In 3rd place, X44 Vida Carbon Racing. In 2nd place, Rosberg X Racing. And our race winners, Veloce Racing. Now please be upstanding for the winning team's national anthem.
National anthem there,
Congratulations to
Lewis
all of our
Hamilton.
winners and their teams. Our dignitaries will now present the trophies. Nils van Stekenberg, technical lead of Extreme E at Continental Tyres, will now present the winning team trophy to Didi, chief mechanic of Veloce Racing.
Obviously, not Lewis Hamilton. Veloce, that's why it was the British
Jenny,
national
there's
anthem.
two British
Sorry.
teams up there would take it. You know, there's X44 and Veloce, but yeah.
Lewis was just desperate to get in on the action. Unfortunately for him, it wasn't to be today, but look at that podium. The celebrations will be good.
All our previous champions up there, remember. RXR on the left-hand side. Molly Taylor's on the top step of the podium. So Johan and Molly, who are in separate teams now, won season 1. You've got Gutierrez up there for X44. Yeah, Sebastian Loeb's not there, but X44 last year's champions. And RXR left-hand side, trophies aloft. Picking the championship up again for a second time. First time for Arlene Kotlinski. I think you could see from the onboard with her, the tears streaming down her face, and what she gathered herself up by the time we did the TV interview. Sometimes I want to get it in the door a bit earlier, you know, but amazing stuff for them. Super cool.
Yeah, it means so much to the whole team. They're just, it's joyful, isn't it? Joyful scenes of celebrating after such a hard weekend and a hard year. And look at that, the Veloce team. They're just going to let rip.
Absolutely, and look at them go. There's going to be some champagne showers tonight, all sorts of celebrating. And you know what I love? So much worldwide representation, so many people, you know, representing different countries. It's amazing. It really is like a global series.
Fantastic.
Oh, I love it. Look, all the camera guys getting involved. I mean, you can't escape the champagne, can you? It's a hazard of working in this.
It's the one time, isn't it, where you go, you know what, it doesn't matter if the clothes stink, it really is the last day. If the camera gets a bit wet, yeah, I'll probably get told off, but we're not using it tomorrow, I'll deal with it later. Yeah, good Fraz, just drink pouring out everywhere.
Jess, do you like the smell of champagne after the podium?
No.
Oh, yeah. I do. Yeah. Get in. I like the smell of champagne anytime, guys.
I'll tell you, yeah, I don't mind the smell of champagne in a glass, but the smell of champagne sprayed all over a race suit is rank. Yeah, like, isn't it, Jenny?
Or even in a shoe?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll do a shoey. No. Should do a shoey with the tea maybe after this?
Okay.
Maybe a beer. Oh. Laia Sanz jumps from the car, championship dreams over. So sorry for her and for Matthias Ekström. As I say, this has been her coming-of-age season. She is a world-class four-wheel off-road driver. It didn't go away today, but she'll be back.
She's been phenomenal this year. Let's have another look at what happened. The grooves, the track has rutted up, and you can see how dangerous it was. It was just calling her in, and she had that spin once, twice, 3 times.
I can't help thinking you didn't need to pass Taylor. By that I mean, if you look at the RXR and the damage that was on it, there's an element here that the team should maybe have been on the radio and said, wind it in, but obviously we're not privy to all the information, we're just guessing at it. Here they are, Laia Sanz coming back for P2. She'll be bitterly disappointed, but she shouldn't be. She should be over the moon with the progress she has made from a two-wheeled legend to a four-wheeled legend, alongside another four-wheeled legend, Matthias Ekström. Acciona Sainz get P2 in this year's championship, Veloce P3. But your Season 3 champions taken to the top step of the podium. RXR, a second title for Johan Kristoffersson, the first person to do a double here in Extreme E. And then onto the top step with him, Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski. They came so close last year. This year, she's got the job done. In a bizarre fashion, but they got the job done. She really had to bring that car home.
I think we can safely say best pit stop award for changing tyre goes to RXR for the season.
Yeah.
They managed to make that so quickly.
Congratulations to all of our winners and their teams. Our dignitaries will now present the trophies. Fabrizio Manni, Head of Global Sponsorship and Events at Enel X, and Becky Jones, Event Manager at Extreme.
Trophies coming out. We were just discussing Laia Sanz, weren't we? And whether or not she needed that pass. We were thinking about it. The way RXR came back, she couldn't have known what would happen to the other cars. But Jenny, actually, if she'd put Veloce between them, so if she had a pass Veloce and then RXR were never going to get to them, yeah, they would have won the title. So in some ways, she did need to make that pass. Imagine being in the team, trying to make that call at the time. It's impossible to say.
And we've always said, you go hard.
Yeah.
Go hard because you don't know what, as you say, is happening around you. And she went for it. This is an extreme championship in extreme conditions, and she raced to the lead and for the win, but it wasn't to be for them. And look, this is RXR celebrating their championship win. They wanted it back, and now they've got it. And this, the founder of Extreme E, Alejandro Agag, goes and gives the trophy.
To our Extreme E champions, Johan Kristoffersson and Michaela Arlen.
It really is quite a moment, isn't it?
Yeah,
These
it's brilliant.
drivers.
I'm just sitting here looking at it and enjoying it. Laura's doing a great job down there as well with the dramatic presentation. She really is. And yeah, Jill, well, look at this. Champagne for the champions on the top step of the podium. Second bottle of champagne because they were up there in P2 for the race. But it's a brilliant result for RXR, winning Season 3. Amazing stuff.
And they're celebrating, but so should the whole event team and everyone behind the scenes who make this happen. The TV crew that are on the ground, the medical team, the recovery team who are responsible for taking all the cars off. Like, oh my goodness, the amount of work that goes into a series like this cannot be underestimated. And I hope they're all celebrating tonight.
Johan Kristoffersson looked like that was hitting the spot, some would say, in the worst possible way. Cold champagne down the back of the neck is not a pleasant experience when you're in race overalls.
While we're in thank you mode, I want to say a few thank yous as well. Laura Winter down on site doing a brilliant job. Talking of which, we're going to go and see Laura right now. That was handy, wasn't it? Let's go down to Laura.
I'll bring Laia Sanz in now. Laia, I don't really know what to say to you. I can't imagine how you must be feeling, but can you begin to try to sum up your emotions after this one?
It's hard, especially for all the team. I feel so sorry. And yeah, I tried my best, but it was not enough. I had the feeling that Molly was a bit earlier on the 30, but it was not. So then I lose the position, then I knew that I had to push to get the win. And I had a strange kick here, and then I lost the car. Something was broken, and then trying to come back to the track, I rolled, but I'm so sorry for the guys.
You shouldn't be sorry. You should be so proud of your efforts. It's been an incredible fight. Matthias, can you begin to sum up your emotions as well after this one?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I don't go racing for finishing second, so when you have a chance to win and you're leading, you have it in the bag, you know, doesn't really matter the reason why you don't win. It's just when you come so close, it always hurts. But in the heat of the moment, anything can happen. Have to give all the credit and respect to Rosberg Racing, to Johan and Michaela, and in the end of the season scene, they did less mistakes. They simply were slightly better, and in such a tight championship, it's all about avoiding mistakes. It's not only who is the fastest. At least I had a fun comeback, enjoyed the teamwork with the team, and now we can go and celebrate Christmas.
Congratulations for P2. It was a brilliant fight. Thank you very much, Atsiona Sainz. We'll see you next year. Thank you, guys.
Gutted for Laia Sands. You can see the emotion written all over her face, but it's been an incredible ride, and she's had an incredible drive this year. She has. They'll be back next year. We're looking forward to season 4. My thanks to Laura Winter and Joe Ankia, who reported on site this year. Jenny Gao, so good to have you back. The people who covered for you, Katie Osborne, Nikki Shields, Jess Rogers. I'm Andrew Coley. Thank you so much for joining us for season 3. The whole team here and on site as well. What a brilliant, brilliant year of action. RXR have won back the title they took in season 1 in the most incredible style. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. We'll be back for season 3, February the 16th, 17th, Saudi Arabia. Season 4 even. Don't miss it. See you then.
Only 2 teams left standing. Who will reign supreme? Who will be the Season 3 champion?
Scheider! Oh, that was risky! Up on 2 wheels, the RXR up on the top of the banking. Laia Sands has gone round the championship leader. As she drove, that's it. Atsiona Sainz has gone over. Rosberg X Racing are the 2023 Extreme E champions.